God.
Her voice is so authoritative. It's like recording in progress.
I
She
want a
makes it sound
soft
so.
British accent. I want a soft British accent or Latina accent.
Nice. All right, so let me make sure. There's a construction going on next door. Can you hear it, or is it just
No,
me?
not at all.
Oh, good. The mic is not that powerful. That's awesome. So we're gonna have fun today. Is that okay?
Yeah, that sounds great to me. Another thing too is that I know we talked about the Veterans Day,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I'm biting off more than I perhaps should be right now. So I'll just quickly fill you in, and I want to respect, of course, that you have a structure. So if this is not the time to be dropping in with each other, please let me know. But this was something I did want to communicate with you about. This is an exciting time for me because I reached out to the nonprofit Global Family. I've been getting a lot of messages about global family. And that's something that I've always held very sacred and as a life mission of mine to help create a global family, a world in which we see each other as brothers and sisters, having each other's backs. And the globalfamily.org nonprofit, they have done work with the United Nations. They've done peace and reconciliation groups between nations that have had war between them. It's very impressive what they've done. And I reached out to them to become an ambassador. They have some ambassador program. And the founder wrote me back saying that currently there is no ambassador program in place. I asked if I could have a Zoom call with her. We spoke on the phone for an hour, and then she says, I think you should meet the rest of our board members. So I met the rest of the board members, and at the conclusion of that, the main board member, Janie, she says, Carolyn, I believe you're right. John is the one we've been manifesting. So these people are in their 70s, and they started this in 1986, and they're looking for someone from the younger generation to hand over a global family to.
Wow.
And this would be my role as program director, fundraiser for it, and I get to write my own ticket in terms of what that means. And one thing that we clicked on certainly was the ideas that I was sharing with them, such as look closer at Veterans Day, that these are our brothers and sisters, primarily brothers, who were not doing the best job looking after our family members. When you have stuff like, I saw a Jon Stewart episode where it was about the burn pits and the smoke inhalation and how these troops, as they were leaving Afghanistan, right, that they were burning all the stuff there, the weapons and all the feces and urine, all that, and then they inhaled that, and several of them have died of cancer, and they gone broke trying to heal themselves from the cancer that ultimately killed them. And the Veterans Affairs is not paying for their bills at all. And that's why Jon Stewart, God bless him, did this episode on it. Between that, PTSD, this is
Wow.
how we look after our family members, who are veterans. So using the holidays is something that makes a lot of sense to me. We were brainstorming last night about the homeless issue come Christmas time, which is spirit of giving, that it would make sense to do something for our homeless brothers and sisters. And that to me is about transformation on both sides of it. The cynicism and wariness that so many of us have and the judgment.
Yeah.
It's not up to me to say stop doing that. It's just let's look closer at it. And yeah, and then a big thing is the Black Friday, all this obsession with buying gifts. And I'm doing with Alan and Ricky a four love experience, which is about the other four love languages besides gifts, which in my experience, no one chooses gifts as the most important, that we each value words of affirmation, physical touch, quality
Yep.
time, or acts of service so much more. So we'll be doing events that are giving people the opportunity to express those four love languages during the event, while at the same time committing to expressing that with the people in their lives.
Yeah.
So my role as a communication trainer, it's the same as the founder of globalfamily.org. It's one reason that I think she and I got along so well. We both have the background with Landmark. Hers is Est, the original Landmark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And with leading seminars and training others to really transform their communication. It starts with their mindset, getting the impact they have on others, their way of being, creating the way of being of compassion, generosity. So that's what I'm up to now, Fernando. And
Yeah.
I see you as someone that would be part of the journey with me, and it's open-ended, like I've been looking for an umbrella or context for my mission in life that was big enough that I could say, all right, game on. There's no end in sight. I've had to niche down too much before when I had my coaching business, and it always bothered me.
Do you see this?
What is that?
Are you able to read it or no?
Game of life?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is it, and you said it's game on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
exactly. And the idea here being that because I'm so inclusive and I'm really great, I would say my biggest skills in life would be as a writer and communicator and bringing people together. And along the lines of communicating is the sharing of wisdom and training and transforming others. But at the end of the day, the things that get me up each morning are transformation and community, right?
Okay.
The amount of people I've introduced to one another, and they've created deep, meaningful friendships. It's like counting stars, man. How much?
Wow. Wow. Woo.
Yeah. So now I take it to this massive scale with some of the nonprofit initiatives that I would be keen to explore would be, for instance, our involvement with Iraq and Afghanistan. We come in with our troops and we shake and blow up a lot of stuff. And what's the impact on them? Who is the one that actually comes in and does the peace and reconciliation between us and them, so that there's not going to be some attack on us like later on? I have it that the inherent spirit of people is not to be attacking and vengeful. It's only when they see no other option do they do that. And so much of that can be healed through communication. I have a lot of speakers and coaches friends because of being in industry, and successful people like 6 figures and up. Like that was the crowd that I was in. And I see it being like a Doctors Without Borders type thing.
Okay.
Where we would have these trips that we would take, the example of Afghanistan and Iraq or Vietnam. What is the impact and legacy of America's involvement in Vietnam, as well as stuff like Rwanda from the 90s genocide, the Hutus and the Tutsis? What is still there in the space between those two groups that we, using our commitment to spreading light, transformation, and community, and our abilities as communication facilitators to create reconciliation between those groups? So this would be some of the larger scale efforts, in addition to the ones that I mentioned earlier about Veterans Day, and then the 4 love languages, and the I got distracted by Kris joining.
Hey, Kris, welcome.
Hey, sorry, I had issues. I was in before and then I was out, and I just got back in.
Welcome. How's it going?
Sorry to interrupt. Continue, please.
Right. I was just wrapped. Actually, your timing is perfect.
Where are you reaching out from, Kris?
I'm in Tennessee.
Oh, nice. Tennessee. Awesome. I'm in San Diego. And John?
Also in San Diego.
Exactly. And Kris, how did you learn about this meeting?
I saw it on the calendar.
On which calendar?
On the flat calendar.
The Platt calendar. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome.
I was playing catch up on my calendar.
Wonderful, wonderful. Good, good. And and this goes for John, as well. What prompted you to want to join this class?
The demonstration on limiting beliefs and getting rid of them, because I know I've got plenty of them.
Okay. Awesome. And do you have one in particular that you'd like to release today?
Oh, I got lots. I don't know if I'd want any recorded, but
Okay. So the reason I'm recording this is for training. It's not to release. And we had a conversation with John earlier on the call.
Same thing. Yes, internal training, not for publicity on social media or to anyone's email list. We're clear on that.
So while you're thinking, Kris, I'll go to John. John, do you have any?
Yeah, I would say the one that I was sharing about briefly earlier was around dating and relationships, romantic partnership, where I'm committed to having the experience of being whole and complete. Basically, the feeling that I'll get in a relationship that's working well without needing the relationship. I don't want to be contingent on someone else and then them interacting with me a certain way so that I can have the experience of being whole and in love with myself. I want to generate that on my own. And I know it's some belief that I need this other person to do that for me. That's what I want to let go of.
Okay. The belief that you need someone to be whole and complete.
Yes.
Or is it something more specific?
Or even that like my life would be more awesome if I had a partner. I don't think that belief is very empowering.
Okay. My life would be more awesome. And I laugh out of like, that feels amazing to hear, because that type of belief, and if you want to categorize it as limiting belief, I think it's an awesome limiting belief. My life would be more awesome. What was it that you said?
If I had a partner.
Okay. Is that a limiting belief for you?
I guess the limiting belief would be my life won't be awesome until I have a partner.
Is that the limiting belief you'd like to release today?
Yes.
Okay. My life won't be awesome until I have a partner. Is that the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Kris, how about you?
anything and everything to do with money. I can't make money. I'm never successful in anything I do. I mean, you name it, put it down there, it works. I give up at this point.
I must ask. I gotta ask. How did you join Plaid? Isn't that like 85,000 a year?
It's called CARES Act. Pull money out of your retirement account.
Okay. So the limiting belief, I heard I can't make money. Is that the limiting belief? If we were to choose a good one, a juicy one?
I don't know what's better. I can't make money, or I'm never successful in anything I do. That kind of encompasses whether it's, like trying to get a traditional job or going back into business again, which I don't know that I want to do.
Okay.
Or even like pursuing real estate transactions, anything, it kind of encompasses it all.
Okay.
get
I'm-
that fear building up, and then I stop and I sabotage myself, and I don't follow through, or I come up with too many fears to continue pursuing an opportunity, even if it's like the diamond in the rough opportunity, once in a lifetime thing.
Which one's greater? I'm never successful in anything I do, or I sabotage myself? Go with your first answer.
Never
Got you.
successful.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So we're gonna keep that for a few more minutes. We're gonna do some meditation before we get into the release. And John, I got yours here. Awesome.
By the way, Kris, I really relate to your situation. I would say in my case, it was something I really took on by the horns. My story was I suck at money. That was just my general statement. Remember, that was the belief. And I did sessions like this, and I read books and went to seminars, and I broke through that. It's in my rear view now. So I really acknowledge you for taking this on. I mean, you're doing the work that you need to be doing around this.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. When we get to it, it will be pretty quick. Take about 10 minutes. We're gonna do some meditation now. We're gonna meditate for maybe 5 to 10 minutes. And if you have a mantra or a prayer, you're welcome to do your meditation practice while we're doing the meditation. And the reason we do the meditation is because the work we're about to do is at the unconscious level. And when I mean unconscious, I mean the parasympathetic system, which is a system that keeps your body running, your heart beating, your lungs working, and those limiting beliefs are stored at that level. So we're going to do the work at that level. So everything that I say, or you may say during this session, it might come from the conscious mind. And the conscious mind usually is the commentator of things. And the conscious mind is really not needed for the body to, for the heart to beat, for the body to work. So we're going to get more in sync with the unconscious mind, or the subconscious mind, which is the mind that keeps your body alive. So go ahead and get comfortable in your chair or wherever you're sitting. Close your eyes. And we're going to start with 4 deep breaths. And when you exhale ha. So let's take the first breath. One more. Excellent. Continue breathing normally. If you have a mantra or a prayer, you can begin now. If you don't, you can pay attention to the air around your body and the air coming in and out of your nose. You know, and we'll be here for a few minutes and allow any sounds or dings, alarms to allow you to go deeper in the meditation. For the next minute or so, I invite you to raise one of the corners of your mouth ever so slightly, or maybe both corners of your mouth ever so slightly as you continue the meditation. And now I'm going to do a short exercise. This would be a forgiveness exercise. And forgiveness is known to be one of the tools that has helped more people compared to any other tool. And we're going to do a very simple visualization. I like for you to visualize a beautiful coast or a lake, and the sun is setting, and there's a boat. There's a boat on that shore. And you notice it's a festive boat, a party boat, boat of celebration. And I'd like for you to invite the memory of one person or two or many, or even yourself, someone that you think or you feel you need to forgive. Go ahead and invite the memory of that person or that group, or it could be yourself, onto that festive boat. Hear the sounds of the boat. There's music. Look at the food being passed around, the drinks. People on the boat are having so much fun. I'd like for you to see them healing. The more they dance, the more they laugh, the more they giggle, the more they are healed. You're literally healing the memory you have of that group or yourself. And notice how the boat is now leaving the shore, and the sun is setting. The air is warm. The boat is now going towards the sun, the sunset. And this is a special boat. It's one of those boats that can actually float not only on water, it can float on air. And the boat is now floating above the water, heading towards the sun. It's actually leaving the atmosphere. And the people are so happy. They're partying, they're celebrating, they're dancing. And the more time they spend on their boat, the more they are healed. The boat is floating by the moon, is going by the planets, and is heading towards the sun. It's getting really close to the sun, and the people are so happy. They start feeling that energy from the sun, the light, and their healing gets even more beautiful, more whole, more perfect, more complete. And as the boat touches the sun, starts transmuting, starts morphing into the sun itself. 10% of the boat becomes light. 20%. 30%. The people in front of the boat have now become light. 30, 40%. 50%. The sun becomes bigger and brighter. 50, 60%, 70, 80%. The sun becomes bigger and brighter as the boat, as well as the people on it, become light, pure light. 80%, 90. There's 10% left of the boat. Allow the boat to completely become light with everyone in it. 100%. Notice how much bigger the sun got. Allow that healing of your memories to integrate not only in your mental, emotional bodies, but also your physical bodies. And we're going to take 4 deep breaths to come out of this exercise. Let's take the first deep breath together. One more. Continue to breathe normally. Start moving your fingers and your toes. Start coming back to now. And open your eyes slowly whenever you're ready. Welcome back. How you doing? I see some smiles. John shaking his head. Anyone want to share what your experience was? And just to be clear, that was not the limiting belief release. That was just the prep. John?
I don't know how to put into words. I'll just say what comes out. Right now, I feel relaxed, clear, present, and the experience of releasing, having the power to release, and having the agency over my own experience. I have an appreciation for myself as the generator of my own experience.
Wonderful. Excellent. Thank you. Generator own experience. How about you, Kris?
More relaxed. I'm analytical, so it takes me a while to get to that point, to get past that level.
Yeah.
But more relaxed.
Okay. Wonderful. More relaxed is good. Did you bring anyone specific on the boat?
Myself.
Yourself. Okay. How about you, Kris?
You mean me, John?
I mean, yeah, John.
Yeah, I recognize lately that I have this real frustration, loathing of what I consider really masculine men who tend to dominate, control, judge through their size, through their voice. And there's a part of me just wants to line them all up and shoot them.
Okay.
And I know that until I can be with that, I'm stuck. I also know why I have that trigger around them, or one of the reasons why is because it brings out that part of me more.
Mm.
So much of my evolution personally is to be more heart-centered and compassionate and kind and understanding, what I would consider more
And who did you, for the sake of time, John, who'd you bring on the boat? Who'd you bring on the boat?
Luis.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Luis now?
There's more room now between me and Luis.
Okay.
I don't want to beat him up.
That's wonderful. More room. Okay, good. So did it help you? Did the exercise help you?
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Kris?
Yeah.
You did. Okay. And you said you brought yourself on the boat. Okay.
Because I know all of my limitations are because of me.
Yeah. Totally. Wonderful. I brought myself on a boat. So I did the exercise with you guys. And I feel now I have I'm more appreciative of myself because of that exercise. And with that in mind, who wants to release some limiting beliefs?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, cool. So so we talked about the unconscious mind. We talked about limiting beliefs. Now we're going to talk about the timeline. We're going to spend about 60 seconds on this. Think of the past as far as memories go in a linear fashion. If you were to point to where the memory is, if you were to organize it in a line, where would you point to? So use your hand and point to somewhere around you that you think, if you were to imagine that timeline pointing toward the past, where the past is.
You asked where it originated from?
No, it could be that. So if I could ask yourself where, if you were to organize your memories from past to present to future, where would past be? Okay, so that way, good. How about future? Awesome, perfect. You both get A's in that. So now you know where you're going to be working with. You know the directions. We're going to release you're going to release your limiting beliefs now. I'll be your guide. You're going to be doing all of the work. You're going to use the words you hear from me to do the work yourselves. And it'll be very simple. It'll be quick. We're going to ask of your unconscious mind a few questions. So let's practice asking the unconscious mind questions. Tell me a number, shout out a number between 0 and 10.
4.
10 and 100.
96.
See,
100 and 1,000.
333.
500,
1,000 and 10,000.
3,000.
5,000.
Awesome. Cool. You get A pluses on that as well.
I don't have to remember them all, do
Yeah, my mom. was like that,
It'll be cool. You know, all those numbers you just shout out, those are the millions of dollars that will be coming to your bank account. So in the next few years, so or a few months. It's up to you. You can do that. But that's the reason for me asking the questions the way I did is so that you create rapport with asking your unconscious mind questions. You could use that for what's the best for me to eat right now? You can ask, is it for my highest good to invest in this crypto thing? Is it in my highest good for me to be with so-and-so? Is it in my highest good for me to ask someone out? And just like how we did with the numbers, very simple, you can create a relationship with your unconscious mind to get answers. And that mind has kept your heart beating for however young you are. Do you think you can trust that mind? Yes or no?
yes.
Yeah. So I invite you to, during this session, after this session, create a promise, declaration to create a working relationship with your unconscious mind where you're consciously asking the unconscious mind for advice. It has your best interest in mind. It's kept you alive this long. With that in mind, I like to ask you to connect back to the limiting belief that you said you had. So for Kris, do you remember where it is?
Yeah, I'm not successful at anything.
Okay. And John, do you remember yours?
My life won't be awesome until I have a partner.
Okay, wonderful. Is it all right with your unconscious mind for you, and when I say you, I mean both of you, is it all right with your unconscious mind for you to be free, for you to release this limiting belief today and for you to be aware of it consciously?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like for you, both of you, to close your eyes. What is the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, will cause the problem to disappear. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? You don't have to answer. Just pick the root cause. Was it before, during, or after your birth? Just like how we were doing with numbers, go with the first thing that comes to mind. If it was before, if it was before, was it in the womb or before the womb? If it was the womb, what month? If it was before the womb, was it past life or passed down to you genealogically? If it was past life, how many lifetimes ago? If it was passed down to you genealogically, how many generations ago? Just pick a number. If it was after your birth, what age were you? So what's the root cause of this problem? The first event, which when disconnected, will cause the problem to disappear. This is an unconscious process. The conscious mind cannot possibly remember the root cause. So it's not about remembering. It's about trusting the unconscious mind to give you the answer. If you were to know, was it before, during, or after your birth? If it was before, was in the womb or before? If it was in the womb, what month? If it was before, was it past life or passed down to you genealogically? If it was past life, how many lifetimes ago? If it was passed down to you genealogically, how many generations ago? Just pick a number. And if it was after your birth, what age were you? Just pick a number.
Can I say?
If you have located the root cause, nod so I can see you on the camera. Wonderful. Thank you. Now, I'd like to ask your unconscious mind to float up in the air, above your timeline, above now, and start heading towards the past. Start heading towards the past, traveling down to the past and down into the event. This is an unconscious process. And when you get into the event, notice what emotions are present. And also note if you are aware of the decision that was made there too. The decision that I'm never successful in anything I do, or that my life won't be awesome until I have a partner. If you have noticed the decision, great. If you haven't, I'd like you to wind the movie of your memory until you come to the time of the decision right now. If you have noted or noticed the decision that was made, raise your hand. Go ahead and excellent. Just hanging there for a little bit until everyone is on the same page. Wind the movie of your memory until you come to the time of the decision that I'm never successful in anything I do. This is an unconscious process. If you have noted and noticed the decision, go ahead and raise your hand. Excellent. We're going to go ahead and now float up above our timeline and head towards the past. Head towards the past to a position well before the beginning of the event or any of the chain of events that led to that event. And turn and look toward now so that you are above the event. So the event is below you and in front of you. Preserve the positive learnings. The learnings will allow you to release the emotions and the limiting decision easily and effortlessly. Now start floating higher and farther back. Higher and farther back until the emotions completely release. Flow higher and farther back. Excellent. Keep floating higher and farther back until all of the emotions completely release, as well as the limiting decision. What is there to learn from this event? The learning of which will allow you to release the emotions, as well as the limiting decision. Won't it be better to preserve the learnings than the emotions? If you let go of the emotions and the limiting decision and preserve the learnings, you will have learned what you needed. Continue floating higher and further back until the emotion and the limiting decision completely releases. Now. If the emotion and the limiting decision has released, please raise your hand. Excellent. Continue floating higher and further back. Notice that you are before the event ever took place. And you are looking towards now. And now we're going to, I'd like for you to go and float down inside the event. And looking through your own eyes, check on the emotions. So float down inside the event, looking through your own eyes and check on the emotions. Are they there? Or have they disappeared? If there's any emotion left there still, flow higher and further back and allow the emotions to release. Not letting go of this emotion is in direct conflict with the highest prime directive of the unconscious mind, which is to preserve the body. This emotion, though getting results, does not preserve the body, it hurts the body. Wouldn't it be better to let go of the repressed emotion and get the same results in some other way? Wouldn't it be better to let go of the repressed emotion and just release it? Excellent. If you're floating higher and farther, go back and float down inside the event, looking through your own eyes and check on the emotions. And realize that they're either reduced or have completely disappeared. And notice the decision. It's either reduced or completely disappeared as well. And I'd like for you to now float above your timeline. So the event is below you. And come back to now only as quickly as you allow all of the events between then and now to reevaluate themselves in light of your new choices. And let go of all of the negative emotions on those events, like a domino effect. Preserve the learnings and let go of the emotions and allow each event to reevaluate itself all the way back to now. And as you come back to now, I like your unconscious mind to allow you to notice at least 3 or more events where you could have had the opposite of what you released. But because of the decision which we just deleted, you didn't notice the possibility, and now you can. As you come back to now, allow your unconscious mind to notice at least 3 or more events where you could have had the happiness that you wanted, the money that you wanted, but because of the decision we just deleted or reduced, you didn't notice the possibility, and now you can. And come back to now, when you're ready, back into the room. Continue floating back to now. allowing all those changes to integrate, not only in your mental and emotional, but also physical body. And come back to now, into the room, preserving all of the learnings from the emotions and the decision that you released. And come back to now and open your eyes. Excellent. Now, how do you feel about that old belief?
Kris, would you like to share?
I came up with a age or date or whatever, but I don't know what the event was.
Good,
I just have an age. I don't know.
good. Yeah, most people don't know what the event was because it's an unconscious process. If you know about the mice experiment with the sandalwood smoke and the electrocution, where the scientists electrocuted the mice while blowing sandalwood smoke into the cage so that they would be anchored to experience the smoke with being electrocuted, to the point where they didn't electrocute the mice anymore. They just blew the sandalwood smoke and they would freak out. The mice had babies. They grew up. The scientists didn't do anything with the offspring. That offspring had babies, which is the third generation. The scientists blew sandalwood smoke, and the grandkids freaked out, just like how their grandparents did. The grandkids were never electrocuted. The parents were never electrocuted, only the grandparents. And that proved that mental emotional baggage gets passed down genealogically. So you don't have to remember the event for you to release. So tell me about, how do you feel about being successful in anything you do?
Working on it. A little
Working
better
on
every
it.
day.
What's that?
A little better every day.
A little better every day.
I'm a work in progress.
Work in progress. Okay. Yeah. Do you feel you can be successful?
I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, good. How about you, John?
I'm my own creator, man. Yes, I do whatever the fuck I want.
All right.
So
Yes.
yeah, that's the power we have, Kris. Get to declare, and so it is. For me, what was there for me was that my grandpa, my dad's dad, I saw clearly how he was told that a real man needs to get married. And you have two options to show what a real man you are. Either you make money or be a husband. And because he had ambitions creatively, and this is something I know from family history that never got materialized because, well, it didn't. He never was successful, and he put a lot of pressure on his wife to find a sense of meaning, and she was no easy person to be married to, it would seem. So that was a very contentious relationship. And what's there for me is that this inherited conversation of you're less of a man, like only a loser is a bachelor, basically. My father was born 1928, so his father was going some ways back now, right?
And John, how do you know, how awesome is life, whether you have a partner or not?
I did get, I don't know if this answers your question, but I did get a present to how I've projected that grandpa's way of being, that neediness and like the proving himself thing in various relationships or potential relationships, and it feels so icky and gross, and it's an opportunity to triple down on how awesome my life is.
With whether you have a partner or not, or only if you have a partner?
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with a partner.
Okay. I don't know why I asked that question. That was a silly question of me to ask.
Yeah, what I like about this is that this is like quantum leap shit. I mean, this is like, I don't know if it would have been useful to share before you went, Kris, but like, I mean, I recognize that there's a part that's like very default to say like it's a work in progress and like all that. But I would just invite you to consider like, is that really how you want to go about it? Because you have a choice. I mean, you could just say like that, I'm done. And then say over and over again, like, I'm done doing that. I'm done beating myself up about the money stuff, you know? Just draw lines of sand, and then that line gets faint, draw it again in the sand. You know, I think it takes something like that to say enough is enough, or else it'll just be that much harder and take longer to break through.
I've had harder and long enough. I'm done.
I'm sorry?
I said I've had harder and long enough. I am done.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's definitive. That to me is so much more empowering to say I am done as opposed to I'm working on it. It's going to take a while, all that. I think that's such bullshit when people say it's going to take a while of working on it. No, because then we're being constrained by the past. There's nothing that can be created by that. Because I haven't broken through it over 50 years or whatever it is, therefore it's going to take a while. No, that's a story. You can just say I'm done right now over and over, just like you did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tell
Thank you,
myself a
John.
new story.
What's that?
So time to tell myself a new story.
Yep. You know it. You know it. So let's conclude. I am learning a lot here with both of you today. Also learning how to be more mindful of time. So we end by within the 60 minutes allotted to the class. If Kris, if someone was thinking about coming onto this class and experiencing this, what would you tell them?
I think everything's worth going for. Give it a shot. Go for it.
Go for it. How about you, John? If anyone was thinking about joining this class and experience what you experienced, what would you tell them?
I would say Fernando is very kind and gifted, and you owe it to yourself to check it out. And play full out. Don't dick around. Bring a real issue that you want to break through. Come prepared and put all yourself into it. You're in great hands.
Awesome. Thank you so much, brother. Do you have any questions, both of you? Any questions?
No. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks
You're
so much,
welcome.
Fernando. Nice meeting you, Kris.
Nice meeting you. Thank you, John.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice meeting you, Kris.
Nice meeting you too. Thank you.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Sorry that the time went over. I love to, have you come to the other classes. For some people, it works right away. For others, it may take a second, and it's totally fine. On the grand scheme of things, everyone's whole, perfect, and complete. And I'm going to see you as whole, perfect, and complete. And if you disagree with me, I'm going to ask you, what do you need to release so that you agree with you being whole, perfect, and complete? And then we release it. We float above the timeline, and we go to the root cause, and we release it. And so whatever you got today is whatever was there for you to get. And you are whole, perfect, and complete. The way you are and the way you're not. And you have people like me to remind you of that. And I welcome you to join the other classes. I will send you, if you text me, I will reply right back with the list of classes. I'm not putting all the classes on Plat because it's like 9 classes. And
Okay.
I didn't want people's calendar to be just me there. So my number is 407
Okay.
407 466
Yeah.
4718.
Okay.
And just tell me, hi, I'm Kris from the class, and I'll reply with the URL for the list of classes. It's all complimentary, and if you want to work one-on-one, I also have a program for that. And I feel like just the complimentary classes alone, you can get a lot of value. And if you want one-on-one, you can get that too. But I'll invite you to check the other classes out, because they, as an analytical person myself, it took me a few years to get this stuff. Okay. So yeah, I can definitely relate to anything that you might be going through in regards to money.
Awesome.
And you're in the right place at the right time. I will see you as whole, perfect, and complete, regardless of what you do, think, say, feel. That's what I'm projecting. Any last words before we close out?
No, I appreciate your time, and thank you for letting me be included with it, even though I was in late, which is why I know we went over late. So
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for playing. It's a game. It's something that we get to do. After we do release work, it gets to a point where there's nothing else to release. And then you get to do this. And you do that from nothing, for no reason. And you get to create games. So it could be the game of creating a business, the game of creating a partner, the game of getting even more fit. And then it's games. And then you create, because there's no more baggage. There's nothing dragging. So it may take a few sessions for all the baggage to be released. But but Kris, it's not unlimited. There's no such thing as unlimited, because we keep going to the root cause. So we're not going to the traumatic events of this lifetime. We're going to the root causes of genealogically passed down or past lives, which then releases this lifetime's traumas. Cool. That's why there's zero processing. You don't need to process.
That's good. I don't want to process anything.
Good, cool. So send me a text so I can reply with a link to you. Okay.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Okay.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too. And let's see. Enjoy your time in Tennessee.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay. Good evening. Bye.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. See you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.